I really appreciate the body positive movement. As a kid, I struggled with my weight. I was in and out of diets, really all the way up until my early 20s. My first diet, I think, was the grapefruit diet when I was in sixth grade. So I spent years eating, not eating, counting calories, counting carbs, counting fat, fiber, I mean sodium, just years and years of just getting caught up in the diet cycle. And so I understand personally, although it may not seem like it now, I understand personally what it means to struggle with weight and to struggle with what does it mean to be beautiful within this context. One thing that I've noticed about the body positive movement that I found really interesting is it seems to focus only on the struggles of women. We see usually when I look think of body positivity, I think of a full-figured woman or very curvaceous woman, expressing her body, sharing her curves, sharing what traditionally may have been considered as fat rolls, and she's saying, "No, this is my curve, this is me, this is my beauty." That's what I think of when I think of body positive or even body normative. What you generally do not see is a larger man with a what may be considered a big beer belly, walking around saying, "Hey, I'm celebrating my curves. I'm celebrating my big belly. I'm celebrating this. Like, love who I am, love me." I don't tend to see a lot of large men, if any, really promoted in the body positive movement. And that's something that I found interesting. Another thing that I've noticed is this question around height. I did not know how much of an issue height was. And I hate to say that, and that may sound really ignorant, but I did not know how much hate short men got. And I remember one time stumbling across a Facebook group that had thousands upon thousands of members, and it was called, I think it was like 6 feet only, or 6 feet above and only. And it was entire group or page dedicated to women who were thirsting after tall men. And the comments were just like, "Oh, I don't want no short this. I don't want no short that. I don't want no X, Y, and Z." And it was just like, it was literally this entire culture of just being like, "No, and he only needs to be tall. I'm not going to deal with a dude that's under 6 feet tall." Now I think about this. If there is a large group that had hundreds of thousands of people in it that said, I'm only gonna deal with, women who are under a size 8, or the name of the group was No Fat Woman Allowed, or, no roly polies, or just something really provocative, you know what I mean? Would that even be accepted? Would that be socially accepted? And I start to think about, okay, this body positive, is there opportunity for it to be a little bit more inclusive? Can maybe we expand the message to include not only full figured women, or women who are curvaceous or who may not fit into the conventional standards of beauty, but are comfortable with their size and feel like it needs to be representative. Is there room for them and also for the larger man or also for the shorter man? And even more importantly, because what I've really noticed is I think there's a lot of tension with the body positive because some men have felt left out of the conversation. And because sometimes they feel like body positive is about shaming men for their natural preferences or for shaming men for liking a certain body type. Because there's certainly this argument out there where it's just like, hey, as a man, I shouldn't be told what to like. If I like a woman that I feel like is healthy, and for me, healthy means a size 6 at a person who's 5'6", I shouldn't be shamed for that. Or if I want to be with a woman that is slim because I feel like, okay, she's may have an easier time having kids, I shouldn't be shamed for that. So there's certainly the school of thought where men are like, I don't like the body positive because it's trying to force me to like something that I'm not attracted to. But what if the shorter men who were who have been pushed out, who have been shunned, who have been shamed, sometimes from women, even sometimes from full figured women. These short men, what if they banded together with larger or full figured women and said, hey, you know what? F these standards, F these beauty standards. We're going to create our own standards. What if full-figured women embraced shorter or larger men and they literally stepped away and created their own alternate beauty standard? Would that cause it to take off more? Would it actually truly be more socially acceptable? And would men and women start to feel like, okay, there is actually a space where we can be who we are in our fullness and be accepted, whether I'm pencil thin, right, or I am full and voluptuous, or I am really, really tall or extremely short. There is a place for me to feel that I am accepted and that who I am is loved. Is that even possible? Is that a utopian idea? Or is the thought that women and men could come to a place of accepting beauty standards, is that just impossible? And is it possible that maybe women could get to the point where they're just like, hey, we don't this 6 feet and over thing, that's silly. It doesn't need it's not it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if this guy is shorter than me. That doesn't matter. Like, is that possible? Could this happen? Could this work? Is there really a place where beauty standards or body standards or what is considered good and attractive versus not, is there really a place for that to be redefined? I don't know if it's possible for things to be redefined as long as women or men feel like they are not a part of the conversation. I think if there's a movement where again men feel like they're being forced to try to like something that they're not attracted to, as long as they feel that way, I don't think it's going to take off. Likewise, I think as long as women say, okay, I feel like I'm being forced into an unhealthy standard, or I feel like I'm being objectified or whatever, is I think as long as those two narratives exist, there's no way we're going to be able to really kind of get past this barrier. And so I wonder, what would it actually really take? I can't say I have the answer or even really know, but I was thinking about that. Okay, what if the quote unquote undesirable men or the quote unquote undesirable woman, and we know that's all subjective according to who you talk to, but what if, just for general sake, shorter men and full figured women or overweight women or obese women got together and said, we're tired of these conventional beauty standards, or we're going to create something that fits who we are. And they actually banded together and work to do it. Would that really make a change? Would that really make a change in society? Or, like I said, is that some utopian idea? Or is there always just going to be this tension in the society where short men are valued this way, larger women are valued this way, and this is what it is, and you just have to make it work? Is that how it's always going to be? I don't know. What's the answer? No idea. But tell me, what do you think? Leave your questions, comments, concerns in the comments section below. Thank you so much for listening if you've gotten this far, and talk later.